The son of bakery owners from Westerville, Ohio, Keith Schneider started his transition from donut holes to golf holes as a teenager, working first at a local public course and eventually in the bag room at Brookside Country Club in nearby Columbus. He walked on the Western Kentucky men's golf team and spent the summer after freshman year cleaning clubs and carts at Muirfield Village, the club Jack Nicklaus had just opened northwest of his Columbus hometown. Keith developed an interest in merchandising, and after his sophomore year, in 1977, he went to work full-time in Muirfield's golf shop, catering to an upscale clientele. He could not have timed it better. As Nicklaus's career as a golf course architect took off, so did Keith's at Muirfield. By 1980, he'd worked his way up to assistant PGA professional. When Jack Vickers, one of Nicklaus's prized clients, was ready to open his majestic Castle Pines Golf Club in Colorado, Nicklaus loaned Vickers his affable, ambitious 26-year-old star employee to get the course started. He did such a great job, Vickers never let him go. For 43 years, through 22 PGA Tour events and 31 Charlie Coe Invitationals, major renovations to the course, clubhouse, and cottages, Keith exceeded the elevated expectations of Castle Pines' benevolent dictators Jack Vickers and George Solich, and, even more important, those of the club's discerning international membership.
One of the things that made Keith really special to Castle Pines was his grace. He always had a welcoming demeanor, welcoming people to the club, whether it was members, staff, or guests. And I think that was really important for people to get that feel. I think another thing about Keith that he brought enthusiasm. And I think that's really important to get behind, both from a member, guest, and an employee perspective, that enthusiasm. He himself said in 43 years, he never came to work, he always came to the club. And just that different demeanor, that different excitement about it. Another thing that Keith really meant to the club was being here since day one, he knew the history. So it wasn't as if he were thinking about what or how something happened. He had been here, he had lived through it. So he not only knew about the history, but he knew why. And that's important to the fabric of the club. Those are really things that Keith brought to light, but also on the employee side and on the member side, Keith was always willing to have a conversation. And I think that willingness to have a conversation, sometimes good, sometimes not good, but the willingness to tackle it and that forefront, that transparency, I always thought was really important in Keith's legacy here at the club.
Well, I was really fortunate to have Keith when I became president. He'd been here really since Happy Canyon Road was a dirt road. And so he knew the vision of Jack Vickers. He knew all the ups and downs of the club over all the years. And, Keith's just a really warm, really great guy. He and I got along great, and we really worked well together. Well, I think one of his greatest qualities, it really showed up in both our membership and the staff. He earned a lot of respect from his staff, and I think they really worked hard for him. He treated them very well, but he also earned a lot of respect from our membership, and he got to know them all, worked very hard to make sure that he was delivering on their expectations and really providing them what we call the best day of golf in America.
Well, Keith was very helpful in my career in many ways. First of all, when I left the tour, he hired me to work at Castle Pines for a year, and I got to see how the best pro in the country runs the business. So that kind of set me up, and then I moved on to a resort course and then a public golf course, and then we ended up buying the Links golf course. And so I kind of knew, my wife Sandy and I kind of knew then how to do things, and it was all because of Keith. You watch a guy that's the best of the best, and you can't help but just absorb it. And he was amazing. His attributes are his ability to communicate, even though he can't speak English, is tremendous. He cannot say supposedly, he says supposedly. And he said it now for 45 years. Well, every member at Castle Pines says supposedly. The entire board says supposedly. I say supposedly. Castle Rock says supposedly. It's unbelievable. So you learn stuff from Keith that you didn't think you'd learn.
As part of its renovation, Castle Pines put in a putting course dedicated to Keith called the Schneids. And last June, 2 months before the BMW Championship, the club saluted its GM with a special tribute.
For our annual meeting and our founders party, we surprised Keith with a dedication where we made him an honorary member in June. It was a meaningful day for him and for the club. We really wanted Keith to know how much we appreciated an entire career. Who stays at one place for 43 years anymore? He dedicated his whole career to Castle Pines, and it was just really important that we didn't really want to see him go, so we gave him a green jacket and told him we want to see him every year.
The Colorado Golf Hall of Fame Board of Directors congratulates Keith Schneider on his Lifetime Achievement Award.